TJ the Wheel Joe coming at you live. It is Monday, November the 25th, 10:30 a.m. Central Time, Texas time. My oh my, where has the year gone? It's crazy. It's almost Thanksgiving, guys, and then it's going to be Christmas, and it's the whole New Year, New Me bullshit. I mean, time's flying by. Time is flying by. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I am hanging in there. Got sick over the weekend. Don't know what happened. Took a COVID test. Luckily, it wasn't COVID. My wife gave me some medication, knocked me out for like 14 hours yesterday. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still alive because I'm sure she went through the phones, right? So it tells me that I've been playing life good because she had 14 hours to go through all the phones, all the work phones, everything. She has the passcodes to everything. And she didn't stab me while I was sleeping. So that means that I've been playing life the right way. I've been coloring in between the lines. She even got me a breakfast taco this morning, so she happy with me. She probably saw a bunch of tickers on the phones, and she's like, "Oh hell no, I ain't doing any of that stuff." So anyway, guys, if you don't want to worry about anything, just play life straight. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like don't do shady shit and you don't have to worry about shady consequences, right? You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. So anyway, let's get into the quote of the day. I got a good one for you guys today. And bear with me on my voice, guys. I'm not in the best shape today, but there's a lot of stuff going on with the portfolio, so I felt compelled to come live today so that we can learn. We can learn together. So here it is, quote of the day. And let me get over here because I haven't been doing these lately either. Let me do the little timestamp here. Quote. So, quote of the day is Ben Franklin. One day is worth two tomorrows. Lost time is never found again. Time is money. Dost thou love life? Sounds like a Shakespeare poem. Then do not squander time, for that's the stuff that life is made of. You may delay, but time will not. So there's the saying, time waits for no one. Time is the only constant in life. Time and change. So you got to keep that in mind. Yes, go Lakers. I am a Lakers fan since 1980, since the baby hook from Magic Johnson. So I'm showing my age there. I'm 49 years old, going to be 50 in February. And I love the Lakers. I've lived through all of it, man. You know, we had the last heydays of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We had Showtime, James Worthy, Magic Johnson, Michael Cooper, Byron Scott. It was great. Kurt Rambis with the goggles. And then that period ended. Then we had to deal with like Nick Van Exel, a guy named Jones. And then we got Shaquille O'Neal via trade to Orlando. And then they drafted, I don't remember who they drafted, but they traded to the Hornets. And they were somehow able to work a package deal with Vlade Divac for Kobe Bryant, because Kobe Bryant got drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. So that was in 1996. And they didn't win. Like, they didn't win right away. They made it to the playoffs right away. And then Kobe shot like 3 air balls against the Utah Jazz as a rookie. But I saw a lot of promise in him. I was really, really excited. And then Shaquille O'Neal was like, hey, this dude's the real deal. It's just going to take time. And then in 2000, 2001, 2002, they went back-to-back championships. Uh, Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome stuff. And then Kobe won again in 2000 and in 2009, 2010. So, and then Shaq got traded to Miami. He won one with Dwayne Wade. So it was cool. It was good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway, guys, so don't squander time. That's the moral of the story there. Don't squander time. So the other thing that I want to do now is let's talk about the portfolio. So the portfolio, so it's going to be the 5-minute mark. So it's going to be the 5-minute mark here. And let's see what's going on with the portfolio. The portfolio is doing really well. In the pre-market, it was crushing it up at almost 11,250,000, just absolutely crazy. It dipped all the way down to 10,984 as soon as the bell rang. Excuse me. And then it's kind of been working its way up since. So we have a couple of options expiring this week. We have NEO covered calls expiring $5, expiring on Friday. So NEO is currently at 471. So essentially a covered call. We made an agreement with Mr. Market saying, hey, here are our shares. We're willing to sell them to you at $5. If it's above $5 on Friday, you can take our shares. If not, we'll keep our shares. Either way, the premium that you gave us up front, ours to keep. So that's what's going on with that one. Same thing with Pfizer. We made an agreement. Here's our shares, 5,000 shares, 50 contracts, multiplied by 100. And we're willing to sell you these shares at $25.50. Mr. Market's like, okay, cool. Well, how do you feel about it now? Because these shares are currently trading at $26.11. So you're not qualified for any more capital appreciation above your strike price. Now, technically, you do get the premium. So we got premiums. So we got a break even of $25.72. So everything above $25.72 is money that we're leaving on the table, meat that we're leaving on the bone. So those are the risks. Those are the gimmies and the gotchas. But since I know that it's very hard to sell at the top anyway, Pfizer's not really anything that I want in the portfolio long term. I'm okay with it. This was a swing trade. I bought these shares outright, and I was like, I have a game plan. I want to make a few $1,000s on this trade. So let's walk through it. So on November the 19th, I bought 5,000 shares for $24.79. I immediately sold the covered calls for $1,100. So I was like, oh, I'm going to guarantee $1,100, so 22 cents. So that lowers my adjusted cost basis from $24.79 to $24.69.59, $24.57. And then I'm going to sell these for $25.50. So I'm making about 93 cents per share on 5,000 shares. And that's kind of the way that it's worked out. And then I get back into cash, and I have about another $130,000 or so, $128,000 back in cash as a position. So that's what's going on with that one. We got Intel cash secured puts, went real heavy here, 300 contracts at $24. It is currently trading at $25.28. So we're sitting kind of pretty there. And you'll see right there, we got 14.6 on 200 contracts, and we got 100, we got 7,400 for another 100 contracts. And we just got to wait. And that's still a couple of weeks left on those contracts. So there's that. And then we got PayPal covered calls that we're babysitting at $90 for $12.20. PayPal is $87.80. So we'll probably have to be rolling those. RIOT, $11 puts. I feel good about them. The $9 puts, the $10 puts. So let's see what's going on with RIOT. RIOT's at $12.58. Feel real good about them. We're up 38%. You guys can see right here, we got $49,000. We could lock in $19,000 right now, but there's still $30,000 left, and we feel good about it. It is a 27 delta, so there's only a 27% chance that these would expire in the money. I like our chances. I'm going to let it ride to at least 60, 70%. And then if I'm not worried about the 11s, I'm certainly not going to be worried about the 9s and the 10s. So now, something else that I did recently is I sold more covered calls on SoFi. $18 for December the 20th, picked up about $16,000 or $15,800. Why? Because I think that 18, there's not a whole lot of metrics that are going to support that SoFi would be undervalued at 18. You can argue that it's undervalued a little bit right here at 1571, where it stands right now. But at 18, man, I think that a lot of stuff's kind of getting priced in. I feel real good about it. So if I'd have played this right, if I'd have been more patient, this would have been the ideal time to sell all the covered calls at 18, and then I could be rolling them up 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, all the way up to 25 and sleeping easy at night. But I didn't do that because I needed to bring some money through the door. And that's going to bring me to the next big teaching segment today, and that is on SoFi. Let's look at the entire position real quickly. Up a shitload on the shares. And we got 7 open strategies. 100,000 shares are up for sale. We got the cover calls at 18, and then we got a big chunk at 15 that are already in the money for March. These are already in the money, and we're down a lot. So now becomes the question, I got a break even at 1589. It's currently trading at 1572. So when do I roll? When do I buy to close? Like, what's the strategy? So this is what I'm looking at doing. I'm looking at buying to close and not immediately rolling. For tax purposes, I'm considering taking a loss on the covered calls and then waiting until January to sell these covered calls again and bring all that money through the door. That way the loss on these covered calls would really help out for tax purposes this year. But that's really taking a risk because I'm really banking on SoFi not coming back down. So I'm thinking the Santa rally is going to help me. They're going to get closer to announcing earnings again at the end of the year and all of this other stuff. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. So I am looking at buying to close all of these right here, giving back $424,000. That's why it's important to be very well capitalized so you can do these types of things. And then I'm just going to let SoFi run. And I hope SoFi runs to like 1650, 17. And then 30 days from 31, 32 days from the time that I execute this, I will then now sell 1,500 more contracts. And hopefully I'll have a 17, 18, 19 handle on those covered calls. And I'll bring back most, if not all of that premium that I gave back. But then I would have taken advantage of that tax harvest. So that's a different way to do tax harvesting. You don't just have to sell shares for a loss. You can lose money on options as well. So there's other ways to skin that cat. So that's what's going on with that one in a nutshell. Amazon, PayPal that I talk about, Intel. This is another one that's starting to get very interesting. We've got a huge position here that we're approaching break even on, thankfully. Got all the shares for sale at 28, and we've got an agreement to buy a lot more shares at 24. I'm hoping to get away with these, so we realize all that premium, and then kind of be okay if these got called away, because that would give us a lot of cash, about another 600,000 or so. So that is something that I would not be opposed to, and then I'll just keep selling cash secured puts on Intel. A new position, MicroStrategy. I feel like I understand a little bit more what Michael Saylor is doing. Am I in total agreement with it? No. Do I think that it'll work? It is working. Do I think it'll continue to work? Maybe. But it just comes down to, can I manufacture the win here? I think selling cash secured puts at 250 from the levels that it is now, and I did this, I think, on Friday. I like my chances to win, and they were going to give me $10,875 for doing that. I was like, I'll manage it. I'll manage it. It was about a 35-day trade. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. If I can get out of here at 50, 60%, I'll do that, call it good. I can say that I too made money on MicroStrategy. So that is what's going on. I don't see anything else that is noteworthy. This is another one that I've been eyeballing, the SOXL. We're just waiting because I rolled these recently. I rolled them. It was a 28 strike, I think. Yeah, I went from 28 to 27, added another month, got 8,500. I feel a lot more comfortable over here at 27. So I want to get to like that 90% range, then give back like 2 or 3 grand and free up all that collateral, because it's a lot. It's like $270,000. The other thing that I did today is I closed out Hood. Cash secured puts because we're up substantially. So gave back $1,000. Gave back $1,000. Had collected 5,900. You guys can see it right there. So we gave back $1,000, and we were in that trade for about 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks. Made $4,900 on $150,000 in collateral. Not bad at all. So that's pretty much it for portfolio update. So what I want to do now is I want to put this over here at the 15-minute mark. live Q&A. And then also, if anybody would actually like to join, I'll put this on here as well. This is going to be a very short stream today, guys. I don't feel well. So there we go. Let me catch up with you guys. What's going on, Bachata? What's going on, Tradesman? What's going on? Appreciate you. How's the hedge fund project coming along? Haven't made a whole lot of progress in the last 2 weeks, to be honest with you, but I'll get hot on it again, probably first of next year. What's going on, Danny? What's going on, Cenac? Lakers. I love the Lakers. So what's going on, Midwest? Can I ask how much you started? $50,000 June of 21. Kept adding to it. Hope you're feeling better soon. Morning. So put Zavin, under the weather myself. Right on. Go Lakers. I'm born in 85. Right on. I was born in 75. Classic Lakers. Kobe. Hello. Now I moved to Charlotte. Right on. TJ, my cover calls are not doing so hot. Is that because Archer is doing well? You just got to roll if you want to keep those shares. Yeah, we're approaching 7,000 subs. Pretty cool. The goal is 7,500 by the end of the year. I thought it was a pretty lofty goal. Now I'm thinking that it's actually halfway achievable. We'll see what happens. What's going on, Derb? Where's G Money is asleep or barking in his crate. I got to take him out in a little bit, actually. Is Sava, to be honest with you. What's going on? My opinion, I don't know anything about it. What's going on, Bill? Oof. It's the best email to reach out. Yes. The wheel tracker is wdshirt777 @gmail.com. wdshirt777 at gmail.com. I can't believe what he said about Microsoft. He tried to sell a softy. Bitcoin is the exit strategy. What he is doing is saying when you create a DCF is actually leverage. Happy holidays, gang. Appreciate you guys. MSCX premium is ridiculous. Sold the 95 put this morning. Closed it. That's crazy. Thanks for being here despite not feeling well. Hope you recover. Appreciate you guys. Thanks. HIMS is something you should look at. Made some money on HIMS. I like it sub 20. So right now I think it's like at 25. It was earlier. So it, I have these, I have price targets, right? I have price targets for what I'm at levels that I'm interested in these particular companies. And when they're at those levels, I'm willing to sell puts, potentially own some shares and whatnot. But other than that, I don't chase stocks just to be in them. So HIMS is one of those that I knew about it early. I was messing around with it early in the $8-9 range, but I just wasn't that interested. I just was not that interested. There was a company called Teladoc. I remember being on a pod with this guy named Wong, and I was like, dude, I'd rather be in Teladoc for some reason, and that obviously was not the right move. But on some of the position. Anywho, where else are we going? TJ, in your experience for holiday weeks usually slow. I'm afraid of selling covered calls. Yeah, it's hard to say, man. It is hard to say. What strategy do you think is best to grow an account between poor man cash put? If you have high knowledge, probably poor man covered call. if you have high knowledge. The poor man cover call is more capital efficient, but you need to really be on top of it. The easiest way to grow an account, guys, is find a freaking stock that runs. Like all you've been doing is owning SoFi. You're up, what, 120 some percent for the year, I think. If all you did was own Palantir, you're up a lot. We can look at my son's account. Let me see if I can pull that up. Hold on. That'd be a good teaching segment. Give me a second here. Let me see if I can pull this up on this account, this computer. Let's see if it'll let me. All right, here's a good teaching segment. Let me put this on here in the 22-minute mark. Update on son's account. Excuse me. Okay, here we go. So here's where son's account sits. Let's look at the buying power. You guys can see there's no cash, using margin, 14,000, options collateral is 30,000, etc. So that's everything that's going on with my son's account. So got open puts on NEO at 4 and 5. These are just cash grabs. I've been doing these periodically to service the margin interest, essentially, because we are paying margin interest on these things. Like it shows here, it'll show here. It'll show that you paid interest. It's like 60, 70 bucks a month. Here we go. 77, 75 in interest. So I've just been trying to do some cash grabs here and there to make sure that I'm making enough money to service the interest. So that's what's going on with that account. But here we got 66,000 shares of SoFi and 3,000 shares of RIOT. Up a lot of money. This is on total return. Up a lot of money on these shares. But I have covered calls against these shares. I got covered calls at 15 on SoFi for January of 2025, down a shitload of money on those. And then I've got covered calls on RIOT at 15, down quite a bit on those as well. So that's the issue. So the issue now becomes, okay, what I got to do? I just got to wait, right? Because these shares, 6,000 of them, I could legitimately be up 51 grand had it not been for covered calls. But the cool news is I just got to I just need to let time run off the clock. All of this goes away, guys. You don't have to give that money back. All of that goes away because of theta decay. Now, the gimme and the gotcha is I am essentially guaranteed $15 times 6. So that's 90 grand. So this position will be worth 90 grand, and I'll be qualified for all of it January of 2026. The problem is, and here's the pain, is SoFi could be trading at like 20, 25, 30 bucks by then. So you're going to be like, shit. You know what I mean? But I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I'll just roll them again and try to get another $5, another $6, another $7 for another year, and just play the stock from behind, because I'm trying to get the account to $250,000, and I don't want to make a lot of moves because I don't want to babysit the account because I have other shit to do. So it works for me. I'm good with it. And then I also made all of this money on these cash secured puts, these leads, 3,500 already. I got another 1,530 that I'm going to realize there. So that's going to free up a lot of collateral. And then I'll be able to sell more cash secured puts. So even though I'm going to be underwater on covered calls, those aren't going to be bringing any more money through the door because the shares have shot up so much. I got to look at the totality of the account. How does the account look? How can I still make money with the account? I know that whenever I get out of these cash secured puts right here, that's a lot of money, right? $700 times 30. It's a lot of money. It's like, what is that? 21,000 bucks, I think, in collateral. I am going to have a lot of capital to sell cash secured puts on and bring money through the door that way. So the portfolio is still going to cash flow. And then also on RIOT, I'm not even underwater here technically from the standpoint that RIOT's not even at 15 bucks yet. So I still have room to run here. So I just look at 9,000 shares at 15. That's what I look at. So I go over here to the calculator. And I'm like, 9,000 shares times 15. It's 135 grand. So this account essentially is going to be about 135 grand a year from now, give or take. A year from now. So almost a double from where it's at now. And I don't have to do shit. And along the way, I can sell some cash secured puts. The way that I'm doing right now, I'm cash grabbing on NEO. I think these are going to work out so that, make a little 280 bucks there. That services the interest for 3 or 4 or 5 months. And then I've also got another cash grab on NEO at $5. I'm probably going to have to babysit these if NEO doesn't bounce. So hopefully I'll be able to roll these, get another 500 or 600 bucks or maybe less and go from 5 to 450 and eventually get that off the books. So I'm like, I'm still looking at a way to generate about $1,000 a month in premiums just selling cash secured puts on this particular account. And what's that going to do? That's going to eventually get rid of all of that margin. So initially I was just going to write a check for 15,000 and call it good. I was like, I'm in that position. Thank God. I'm in that position that I could do that. But that doesn't really teach anything to the channel. That doesn't really teach anything to my son because he's not really in a position to do that yet. So let me show you guys how to use the portfolio to get creative and get out of jams without just injecting a bunch of capital. So I was like, let me play the cover calls from behind. Let me lock in a nice win a year from now. That's 135,000. And in the meantime, I have a goal now. What's the goal? To wipe away that margin. How? By selling successful cash secured put cash grabs along the way. Because this thing was at like 15, 16,000 not too long ago. And now it's at 14,000. So the goal is to reduce it by about $1,000 a month. And then come January of next year, of 2026, I look at this account, provided SoFi held up over 15, provided RIOT is up over 15, I'll be like, dude, I could just get all of these shares called away right now and be sitting at $135,000 in cash. And then I could satisfy 2,000 or 3,000, whatever's left over in margin, pay taxes, boom, sitting at a legit $100,000 in the account. Or I'm like, dude, let me just roll with this thing because I see a path to get to 250,000. Because a lot of people always focus on your stock. What's the stock doing? I'm like, what's the portfolio doing? That's my favorite ticker. It's the investing. That's my favorite ticker. I don't give a shit about SoFi and RIOT or NEO in comparison to the investing account. That is the favorite ticker by far. And what's the goal? To get this account for 250,000 so I can give it to my son. That's the goal. So I'm like, okay, I already see a path. I see a clear path to get to 135. I'm like less than a double away to get to 250. Can I still use RIOT and SoFi to do that? It would be a blessing if SoFi could get to like 25 or so, because then I see a path there playing it from behind, inching my way from 15 to 20 to 25. Even if it takes 2 or 3 years to get there, it's a surefire way to get there to hand my son a $250,000 account. Not a lot of work. SoFi did the work for me, but it's all about changing your perspective. It's all about changing your perspective. Everybody's like, I want to be ahead of the stock. I want to be ahead of the stock. I'm like, why? Are you trying to sell tomorrow? Then don't worry about it. If you're not trying to sell tomorrow, don't worry about it. If this is a long-term play for you, you can chase this stock from behind for the next 5, 10, 15 years if it's legitimately a long-term play for you. I have a goal by the end of 2026 to somehow get this account to $250,000. I don't know if it can happen. But if it takes to 2027, 2028, hell, even to 2030, not really going to be that angry about it either. Not really going to be that angry about it, guys. So again, it's all about your perspective. So that's how I'm playing that particular account. Hope that helps you guys out. I don't feature that account very much because there's not a lot to show, but I will start featuring the cash grabs that I have. Right now, I have the Neo cash grabs. I haven't found another cash grab opportunity. I need to make sure that I get away with Neo because I don't want to get over levered if that one were to go against us in a real big way, because this is just strictly on margin, right? And I'm already using margins. So it's talking about compounding the pain, if you will. So keep that in mind. Anyway, where else are we at? Jill. We already did that one. West Coast Lakers, Jim's 29 hymns. Zach is from Tesla. I'm not a paid actor. TJ, could someone really quit their job doing PMCC? It depends how much cash you have. But yeah, I mean, I'd say with a couple $100,000. I mean, it depends how much money you need, but yeah, I would say so. I haven't looked at it. I haven't looked at it, to be honest with you. Last time I checked, it was in the toilet, though. I want to keep my hardship shares, but the premiums are low and doesn't make sense to me at the moment. It's like the premiums aren't going up with the strike price. I can't roll into the future without debit. Then, maybe let the shares go and start selling cash secured puts, or maybe buy leaps, and then you have the upside exposure that way. Do you sell covered calls in your Amazon position? Yes, they're all first sell at February at 200. About to get lifted, good or bad investment? I'm not sure. Did you not roll those covered calls? I already rolled all of that stuff. That's where we landed. I don't know. Hopefully by March or April. Your focus, big pictures, fresh breath of air, good sharing. Open. I know. I sold Open Door and In Face for tax harvest loss. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. Well, you just said it's gold. You mentioned it a few weeks back that you changed my mindset. It's almost at my goal a few months early. Great teaching segment. Nice. Dollar General. I got to look into that one. Appreciate you guys. What do you do with penalty or covered calls? Probably nothing yet. You got a lot of extrinsic value still. Six Des. Yeah, I sold Open. When I cleaned up the portfolio, I sold Open. I sold In Phase. I was trying to do tax harvesting, and I think I still have like 2.5 weeks left. Totally intended to get back on both of those. So probably still sell cash secured puts in the $2 range. I'm not sure where Open Door is right now. I'm afraid to look. Let's see. It was like a 236 earlier. Yeah, this thing's gone parabolic. Fucking Open Door. Oh man, yeah. I thought this thing would do really, really well with interest rate cuts. So you guys can see right there, I sold. Oh, this is on my son's account. Never mind. I'm on the wrong account. But yeah, yeah. I sold In Phase, Open Door. There was a couple of others, and I didn't want to sell them, guys. I didn't want to sell them. It's just I needed to for tax purposes. Let me see if I can find Open Door over here. Yeah, you see, I sold 5,000 shares at 186. How about you, stupid? Oh man, ugh, painful, absolutely painful. Anyway, when right pump? Good question. I'm not sure. When. Hopefully soon, but at the same time, I do have covered calls at 20 for next year. So I'm not really hoping it pumps, if that makes sense. Like to me, I know it sounds a lot of things that I say on this channel sound counterintuitive, right? But it's because I'm playing a big picture. I'm a big picture guy. Wow, 146 people on YouTube. Appreciate you guys. 1,032 that have clicked the link. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling too well. We're going to be wrapping this thing up a little bit shortly. But guys, this is the best case scenario for me. Right here is sideways action because I got all of these shares for sale at $20 in January of next year, 2026. So I'm just trying to make all of my money right here, all of my money right here, and trying to do that for the next 3, 4, 6 months. And then these covered calls are going to get underwater, hopefully, and then we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Sometimes I'm undecided as to whether or not I want to rock with RIOT as far as all of those shares for the next bear cycle. Sometimes I'm thinking, maybe let the shares get called away and then establish the position again in that $8 range again. I don't know. We'll see, but trying to time it like that is very, very difficult. So I may just hopefully try to keep at least 50,000 of these shares as a long-term hold on RIOT and see what happens, or 70. I don't know. We'll see. 100,000. I don't know, because I'm still trying to build this position up to 250,000. So maybe 125,000 becomes the core position. We'll see what happens. And then I do notice that I don't have covered calls on 15,000 of these shares. I just noticed that right there. Wonder if I should do that. It should tell me there, yeah. So it'd be 150 contracts. Hello, are you serious? Is that right? Come on, that can't be right. Is that right? Is it going to tell me? Yeah, that is right. Jesus Christ. I got to do that. I got to do that. I mean, just mathematically, I got to do that. Oh, well, that's crazy. I'd be really, really surprised at those fill, guys. Can there really be that many crackheads there? Wow. Yeah, I'll keep you all posted. This sometimes selling options is just so crazy. How much is your reserve right now? Oh man, $10,000 portfolio. If you want diversification on a small portfolio, buy an ETF. That would probably be the best thing, not financial advice. Would you spreads on open? That's probably not a horrible idea either. Probably not a horrible idea. Explain what I just did. I just sold covered calls on RIOT. So I agreed to sell the RIOT shares, 15,000 shares at $20, January of 2026, and the market's going to pay me about $55,000 for that, which is crazy. Haven't gotten it filled yet. I'm actually going to replace it and try to get it done at 375. Continue. So I'm going to try to get it done at 375 because that would really help out. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh my God, there it is. Wow. Okay. Let me get back over here. Made it filled, guys. I can't believe it. I don't understand how many crackheads there are out there. So this is what happened, guys. Let me walk y'all through this and we're gonna end with that. This is just freaking crazy. So I essentially forgot that I had bought these 15,000 shares of RIOT when we were in Dallas, and I hadn't done anything with it. So I essentially said, hey, I want a rebate, if you will. I want a rebate. So they paid $3.75 for the 15,000 shares. That was the credit. That was the premium. So essentially, I say, hey, I'm willing to sell these shares January of 2026, 13 months from now, at $20. And I got a break even of $23.75. So if RIOT goes past $23.75, which I think that it will, I don't participate in any more capital appreciation. So that's the one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is now I have protection because I bought these shares in the $12 range. So now it's like I bought them in the $8 range, in the $8.25 range. So I'm like, I do this 2 or 3 or 4 times, boom, I'm at zero, right? That's the logic. It's like in 2 or 3 years, 4 years, boom, I'm at a zero adjusted cost basis on that portion of the shares. And that's all that I look at is I'm lowering my adjusted cost basis to zero. To me, the worst case scenario is RIOT moons to 30 or 40 bucks and I'm forced to sell them at 20. If you'd have told me that day that, hey, you're going to buy them at 12 and you're forced to sell them at 20, they're going to pay you $56,000 to do that on top of it, would you be okay? Absolutely. Where do I sign? So that's always the mindset that I always go back to. That's always the mindset that I go back to. Is would I have been okay on the front end if I would have known that that was going to be the result? And now I got a lot more cash flow. I got a lot more cash flow. Anyway, guys, I gotta get rocking and rolling. I hope y'all got value out of this segment. Hopefully, y'all feel better. I wanted to start doing a challenge, but I think that I'm not going to start doing that until a physical challenge until December the 4th. So it's going to take me a little while to recover, man. I've lost like 4 pounds over the weekend and I just feel really, really weak. So I'm going to try to get into the weight room a little bit today just to kind of get the body going a little bit. But anyway, man, I got to get rocking and rolling. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. This is TJ, the Will Deal, signing off. As always, may your sky stay blue, stock screen. Peace out. God bless you guys. Please smash the like button.